Cheers, I do, buckaroos, and how the heck are you? I am Tom, the beer whisperer, for this particular video. Give me just a second while I get things organized here. Let's see, let me fix that quickly, and we're back in business. Anyways, how you buckaroos? I am Tom, the beer whisperer. I have two beers with you. The intro might have been a little confusing. So I have two beers I picked up in Tulsa. However, only one is a Tulsa beer. The other one isn't, but it's one I can't get here that I was able to find in Tulsa. So anyways, I'm going to start with the Tulsa beer, though. Cabin Boys Brewery, Cornerstone Saison. Rooted in Belgian tradition, this ale is unforgiving and unapologetic. It's rich in spicy flavors with a solid malt foundation. It finishes dry, leaving the palate wanting more. Let's see, does it give me an ABV here? 6.2%. I like 6.2. I like, well, in all honesty, I like 7. But anywhere between 6 and 7 is fine. I do like I say, is on right about 6.5, 7. This one at 6.2 is very nice though. It gives you all the flavors and aromas that you want from a perfectly done saison. Oh, this one is done very well though. But you look at that color there. Oh, that's just gorgeous. You might get similar flavors and aromas that you get from a Hefeweizen. It's not unusual to get those banana and clove notes. But it comes at you in a little bit different way, hits your palate a little bit different. The yeast affects it just a little bit differently, so if all of the flavors and aromas may seem similar, the way it comes across your palate is different. Oh, that's gorgeous, man. That is just nice. Yeah, those I love that peppery finish is just gorgeous. Anyways, the second beer I'm going to have with you, I'm going to finish this saison first before I go there, though. The Highest Standard Brewing. I had this recommended to me when I was in Tulsa. Uber Brew, and I'm not familiar with them. I haven't had anything from them. Uber Brew since 2012. Superlative beer. This is the Brewster Scotch Ale. And they are out of, I'm seeing here, I keep missing it here somewhere. It says on the can here somewhere, and I keep missing it. Well, biscuits and gravy. Anyway, the writing's too small, man. Anyway, I would recommend it to me, so I picked it up. Uber Brew. Let's figure it out, shall we? We're going to figure it out together. Thought I had it here, and then I lost it. I had that information all pulled up, and then it went away on me just as I was getting started here. Montana, there we go. there it is. Now it makes sense. Yeah, I can't get them here in Missouri, but they're available in Oklahoma. Go figure. So anyway, I decided to pick that one up. So I didn't want to allude that I had two Tulsa beers, but they're two beers I picked up while in the Tulsa area. Anyways, I digress. Let's focus on this. Let's just focus one at a time, Tom, shall we? So, anyways, I digress. Mercy. Long weekend because, well, I don't always have Saturday and Sunday off. I did this weekend. I don't always have Monday off, but it is Martin Luther King Day tomorrow, so I'm supposed to be off tomorrow. So we got an extra day, so I thought, well, I'd have a couple beers with you, among other things. And right now, the way it looks, Tuesday's looking kind of iffy. I mean, I'm typically scheduled on Tuesday for my day gig, but I mean, if the weather goes south and school's canceled, I don't know, I'm going to break my ass to come on in. And we're just going to kind of play it all by ear. Weather's been brutal right here. Really wicked for us. Can't complain too much though, because to be honest with you, up until now it's been rather mild. But the weather is getting the weather has gotten get your English right, Tom. The weather has gotten a little bit colder than typical, but then it had been warmer than typical up until now. It just really, I mean, it's just bitter cold out there right now, so there's nothing that's going to make me get out there. But over the first and second, my wife and I went to the Tulsa area, spent a couple of nights, after the major parties were gone. It was a kind of a nice time to be gone because our hotel rooms were a little cheaper. And then the places that were open seemed very grateful that somebody was out, because everybody was home. The money was already spent. The parties were over, so it was nice. I visited a couple local liquor stores that were a lot of fun. Had some local cuisine that was good. It was just nice. It was a nice little getaway. Well, then you come back to town when, reality sets in. You got to get back to the grind again. Oh. It was nice to have a few days off to kind of relax. And then right now it's just brutal. I worked my day gig up through Thursday. And I had a side gig that I worked Thursday and Friday. But I was off Saturday and Sunday, as I mentioned. And then I should be off for typically would be off through the holiday for my day gig, but it kind of depends on the circumstances tomorrow. But if the weather's going to be as bad as they're saying it is, I mean, I don't know that anybody really ought to be going in tomorrow unless they absolutely have to. It's looking rather nasty here in the Ozarks. Again, a little worse than usual. But then again, it had been up until now a little bit better than usual. So that's your trade-off, right? At some point, the scales have to balance. And I feel like that's kind of where we are now. We've had a rather mild winter up to right now. Now it's a little bit more severe than usual. And that's where at some point, those scales are going to balance. I love hearing people talk about global warming, though, when they start to go on a rampage. Well, if there's global warming, why are we cold? You cannot have a conversation with people like that because they already don't understand, right? You can show them the logistics. I mean, you can point out the facts. You can even, most of us carry a computer with us all day long. We've got it in our pockets, our phone. You can pull up the evidence, the data where it shows why it is cold, because the polar caps are melting. But if you don't have the ability to grasp such concept as so many in this area, you just can't have a conversation with folks like that. I mean, most of my family, most of my relatives in other states just don't have that ability to grasp that concept. So it doesn't matter what reality you show them, they're still going to grasp onto their small-minded notion of what things or what they think things are. So anyway, I digress. You're not going to change anybody's mind if they're not willing to change. If they're not willing to look at the facts presented to them and say, okay, now I understand, this makes sense, I will adopt that. Unfortunately, we become a society immune to reality, right? We've got so many out there that will not look at facts and say, okay, well, you say those are the facts, but how do they don't know? So I'm not saying they're the facts. This is saying those are the facts. The reality is these are the facts. I'm not saying that. It's not my opinion. The facts are the facts. And if you don't have the ability to grasp the reality, Well, again, I can't help you. And that's kind of where we are as a society. You've got so many people out there that just don't have the wherewithal to grasp the reality of what is happening right now. They'd rather listen to ignorant-minded pundits and small-minded, uh, ego-driven pundits out there, television shows that aren't showing you the reality. They're showing you what you want to hear. They're telling small-minded people what they want to hear. And you've got people that want to grasp that because that's what they desperately want to believe. So when you show them an actual fact, they're not willing to believe it because then you've got that cognitive dissonance, right? That upsets their whole pattern of reality. They have to accept the fact that they've been lied to for for who knows how long. They have to admit that their whole thought process was wrong, and there's so many people out there that just don't have the ability to do that. They'd rather believe the lies than, understand the truth. And that's kind of where we are as a society at this particular point in time. So what are you going to do about it, Tom? Well, truthfully, not a damn thing. I mean, I've tried. I've tried. At this point, I kind of feel like I'm nearer watching Rome burn, right? There we are. I'm just going to have my beer, drink my whiskey, and watch Rome burn all around me because I'm surrounded by idiots. That's kind of where we are in the Ozarks. We've got a lot of small-minded folks that have no. It's not even so much that they can't comprehend the reality, is that they just don't want to believe the reality, right? That they look at that reality and say, we don't want to believe that. It doesn't agree with what we've been told for so many years. So we're just going to believe the lies, and we're content with that. And here we are. That's why I don't hang around with a lot of folks anymore. I've kind of cut off contact with a lot of old friends for that same reason, is that they know what the truth is. They just refuse to believe it. And I'm, at this point, like I said, I'm not going to change anybody's minds. I mean, the truth is there. We all have this phone in our pocket. We have a computer. Everybody has the ability to look at the reality. And if you're not willing to accept that reality, there's nothing I'm going to say that's going to change your mind. I mean, I've lost contact with I don't know how many. Well, not immediate relatives, some distant relatives, some I've never even met in person, to be honest with you. Cousins and second cousins and cousins, however many removed at this point. I mean, it just doesn't matter. I mean, I was always. My dad raised us all with this certain conscious of family, right? We were my dad brought in relative after relative. We had cousins and friends of cousins stay at our house because dad had that, that sense of family. And I've tried to do the same thing. But when you've got family that will not admit to certain things, well, they will, they want to deny certain realities. It's really hard. I mean, I've been unfriended on social media by a lot of family members just because they want to grasp onto things that just aren't real. They want to hold on to certain bigotry and prejudices that I'm just not going to buy into, and I'm not going to allow you to do it. I'm not going to allow you to spew it on my social media page. No, I'm not going to deal with it. So yeah, if you want to unfriend me, I'm okay with that. I mean, a lot of these folks I've never met in person in the first place, and a lot of them, even those I have met, I haven't seen in person in 35, 40 years. So, I mean, I don't have any ties to you. So if you want to act a certain way, yeah, I'm just not going to be part of it. Ah, that beer is absolutely gorgeous. So let's move on to the Uber. The Uber Brew. The brew is Scotch Ale, 6.9%, I believe it says. We now know it's out of Montana, brewing since 2012. So they've hung on for a while now. And let me show you this beer. That's a gorgeous color for a Scotch Ale. I would love to have a barrel-aged version of this, kind of a, a backwoods bastard version, if you will. I haven't had this. I haven't tried this yet. So I'm about a 4-pack, and I haven't tried it yet. So we're having it with you for the very first time. Oh wow, that nose is gorgeous, big and malty, almost like a cigar malt note. Oh damn. Not as sweet as you might imagine. Typically, Scotch ales tend to be a little sweet up front. This one is not. Michael Milton asks if I'm surviving the cold. Yeah, I'm not going outside, Mike. My ass is staying inside. That's how I'm surviving the cold, Michael. I am not going outside. How about that? So far, so good. So far, so good, man. No, it's bitter cold out here right now, and I'm kind of surprised as many businesses were open in the Ozarks today. I was hoping a lot of them that were open would not have, to be honest with you, because I've got friends that had to be out because they had to go to work today, and I really wish they hadn't, because it's bitter cold out there. There's no reason for anybody to be out today. Stay home. I mean, of course, I guess it happens everywhere, but you start to hear about cold. Everybody, of course, stores get overrun, right? Everybody needs milk, bread, and eggs, and toilet paper. Milk, bread, eggs, and toilet paper. Everybody goes nuts, like they're going to get snowed in for months, and that might happen in some places. But here in this neck of the woods, it's always 2 or 3 days tops, right? But people freak out like they're never going to get to the store. they go to Sam's and buy, 4 of those big packs of toilet paper like you're never going to get out again. More power to you, but damn, really? You don't need to do that, man. This beer's gorgeous. I do like a Scotch ale. I do. This one is a little different than most, though. I got to be honest with you. It's a little more mellow. I tend to, of course, the classic Scotch ale, I guess, is kind of the or as far as American craft beer is concerned, it's kind of the founder's dirty bastard. And I had a friend bring that around to sample the other day, and I got to be honest, this one is rather mellow compared to that. The flavors are good. There's certainly nothing wrong with that, but it is rather mellow. It isn't as sweet as most Scottish ales, to be honest with you. But I would love to see a barrel-aged version of this somewhere too. Again, the backwoods bastards. So anyways, I digress. I digress, man. As is sometimes the days just go fast. One moment it was 2 o'clock, then it was 4 o'clock, and now it's 7:30. Yeah, we had breakfast late. It was almost 11, so we didn't really do a lunch. We just had early dinner, which was about 4:30. Did a little kind of surf and turf, kind of cheated. In all honesty, we had some coconut shrimp. My wife picked up at the store, frozen. We heated that up, but I had a very nice USDA prime strip steak. I cut in half and bacon wrapped it, and then give it a hard sear fast, and then finish it in the oven. So I still got half that steak to cook, but we only ate about half of what I actually cooked. So we're gonna do. So it's gonna be steak and eggs for breakfast. Oh, we'll probably have bacon too, because bacon's kind of a gimme. You got to have bacon for breakfast. But I got that steak we got to finish, and that's why I cook it rare so I can heat it up to get it about a medium rare. We'll have it with steak and eggs in the morning. Anyways, I digress. This is rather bold, though. So as I've been able to let this sit a little bit, it is, again, I'm going to say this one last time because I want to quit repeating myself. It is the sweetest, most Scotch ales, but it is rather big and robust. It is very flavorful. Almost, again, you almost get the cigar malt-like note. So anyways, I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, Beer Evangelist, prolific beer drinker, beer with a man. All right, good guys, launch it.